What is up, everyone? It is your man on fire mentor, David Mailer. And today is a very special day for me because I have a guest on today's live, and she is not an ordinary guest. This is the woman that I have the most respect for in the world, the most admiration, the most love. She is my queen, she is my wife, and she is the woman that makes me each and every day want to rise and be a better man and show up for her and be the guardian, the protector, and the gatekeeper to her feminine heart. That would be my wife, Kathleen Graham, and she is going to be talking to you guys today about how to regain her trust. Boo, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful introduction and all the love. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We've got a hot topic here today, talking about winning back your woman's trust. I bet a lot of you are wondering if it's possible, how to do it. Will she trust you again? It's possible. You can earn her trust back. There's some specific things that you've got to do. So I want to give you the insight and the intel to be able to have some takeaways of how to apply this in your life and make some progress in terms of connecting with your woman and feeling the closeness of trust once again. So do you want me to jump right into it, David?
That would be amazing. I think one of the greatest ways we can serve these men is just really helping them learn how they can regain the trust, because they want to get it right. They want to win the affection of her heart, and who better to teach them, to train them, to help them understand what's in front of them than you?
Well, thank you. Well, we should probably let them know that I'm not just your wife. I actually am trained in this field. I am a relationship and intimacy expert, and I've been doing this work for about 16 or 17 years. And it's become a passion of mine recently to work with the Man on Fire community that my husband David has built to really help men become more successful in their relationships and with their women, and understand what makes us want to lean into you versus withdraw, what makes us trust you versus not trust you, what grows intimacy, what diminishes it. There's so many roadblocks that you guys are up against in terms of understanding the inner workings of a woman's mind and heart. So I've had a brilliant time the last 5 or 6 years, really refining my craft with the men and giving them the insight and the tools of like what we really want. You know, what is really going on in our minds? What do we really need? What do we really desire? What makes us want to celebrate you? What makes us want to appreciate you versus criticize or undermine? You know, like what is it that leads to these either positive flow of experiences or challenging flow of experiences? So it's been a real treasure to develop and to zero in this way as a coach and as a mentor. After so many years of working with females in relationships and teaching them how to attract love and how to find the right guy, it's been a real pleasure to be able to turn my attention towards you guys and really help set you up for success. So David and I are a power couple. You know, we are both living our purpose, here to make a difference in the world, here to make a positive impact on relationships. And thank you, my king, for being my inspiration and helping inspire me to rise more and more every day in terms of my capacity of what I'm here to do and contribute. And I'm excited to be here to share. So guys, this is a huge topic. So listen up, pay close attention. I invite you to put your full focus on this live stream if you haven't already. If you're doing your best, you're multitasking, great. I'm glad you're here. If you're able to zero in a little bit more, listen for those nuggets of wisdom that are coming for you. Okay, if you're here, it's because there's something here that's meant for you. So I'm glad that you trusted yourself and you came to this and you chose to be here. That's a beautiful commitment to grow yourself. And I celebrate that. So when it comes to trust, It is the singular most important aspect of a relationship above anything else. Whether we trust you or not will determine the quality of your relationship. And there's a scale, it's not just a scale of 1 to 10 with women, it's like a scale of 1 to 100. It's like a secret scale that we have. One day you're a 44, and then the next day you're a 22, and then, oh, he's a 98 today. So you do rise and fall on that scale of trust. But at the core, growing trust, valuing trust, nurturing trust, and sustaining trust, this is imperative for you to prioritize as a man. I want you to first just get that file straight off the bat, that this is imperative, that you pump energy into growing, building, sustaining trust with your woman on a regular basis. And why is that? Because for a woman, when you are trustworthy, that's it for us. We love you. We give you our hearts. We give you all of who we are. We know that we can depend on you. Like, that's what we want most. And what it does when you're trustworthy is it creates safety for us. And safety is extremely, extremely important. It's important because you may only be experiencing aspects of your woman if you're not creating a safe space. What I mean by that is if there's not total trust and there's not total safety, she's probably withdrawing or hiding aspects of herself. She's probably protecting or defending. And she's probably in a position where she feels like she has to have a wall up or have her guard up, because you haven't revealed yourself to be fully trustworthy. And if that's happening, you're not having the best quality relationship, and you're most likely bumping up against a lot of challenges. All right. So we have to feel safe in order to fully let you in. And letting you in is like the greatest gift that you want as a man, because when we let you in, that's when we lavish you with our love and our affection and our softness and our tenderness. And when we champion you and we're your cheerleader and we're on your team, which I know you guys like that. You like that feeling, right? When we're on your team and you're not like battling against us or fighting or feeling like you're constantly being undermined or having to prove yourself. So trust is really the focal point that I want you guys to realize will either grow intimacy or diminish intimacy. When there's trust, we want to be close, and it's much easier to experience intimacy with us. And intimacy is multifaceted. There's emotional intimacy, which is just connecting on a deeper level emotionally, sharing feelings, sharing fears, sharing insecurities. And then, of course, there's physical intimacy. And when there's trust, which means we feel safe, we are more likely to share both types of intimacy with you. So you can do a check right now with yourself. Okay, like, how's the intimacy in my relationship? On a scale of 1 to 10, where am I at? Is it easy? Is it in flow? Is it frequent? Does it feel great? Does it feel connected? Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, is it lacking? Has it been months? Has it been years for some of you? Or is it somewhere in the middle? Yeah, sure. Like, we have sex sometimes, but often it feels like we're going through the motions, or it feels like she's doing it out of obligation. So check in with yourself, because the level of intimacy that you're experiencing will let you know how trustworthy your woman feels you are. Okay, so that's a great barometer at any given time. And listen, it doesn't just mean that if she doesn't feel that she can trust you, it doesn't always mean that you're not a trustworthy man. So I want to make that distinction, because we women do come into the relationship with our own wounds around trust and our own betrayals that happened before we were with you. Maybe we had the ultimate betrayal of a dad, who wasn't present, or who was abusive, or who abandoned. Maybe we had boyfriends. Maybe we had a previous husband, where there was a breach of trust and betrayals, and we've brought that into the relationship. So know that, that may be going on to the side, and that may be getting put on you when you might be a trustworthy guy outside of that. So don't be deterred if that is what's going on, because the opportunity is that you are here to heal her. and help her remember that she deserves to be with a trustworthy guy and that she deserves to let her guard down. And you're the one who's going to do that for her. So I want to help you guys understand, in order to build trust, you first have to understand where and how it's lost, right? Like, if you think back in your relationship, year one, check, it was pretty good. Year two, things were still pretty good. We had, some rough times. By year three, things were totally different. So think back. Was there a time when there was a lot of trust and it was unspoken and it was easy and it was natural? So think back to maybe how it was different and how you want to get back to that place, and think about like how you've been different then versus now. And I want to give you some specifics that I notice in working with men and working with women over the years, that there's a number of problems that show up. And this is usually, the longer that you're in a relationship, the more likely that these problems come up. And these may be blind spots for you. So I want to invite you to listen for yourself, see if you can see yourself in any of these examples. Have some humility right now to identify, okay, shit, I'm doing that. Oh, wow, I didn't realize I was doing that. So I want to give you that insight so that you can avoid it and avoid eroding trust any further. So the number one thing that I see happening with men in relationships that erodes trust is called checking out. Checking out. So that's definitely the opposite of checking in, right? Checking out. So what this is when you are there physically, but you're not fully there emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Like you're not there body, mind, spirit. Like there's only like a piece of you that's in the house or that comes and goes, and that a lot of your focus has actually left the relationship. And a lot of your focus instead is on you. It's on yourself oftentimes. It's on work. It's on the kids. It's on your favorite sports teams. It's on your friends. It's on your family. And a myriad of other things where you can put your attention, but you're not fully there. And you're certainly not dialed in. Okay, so when you check out, it's like you're not as emotionally invested anymore, right? There's only a fragment of you or a percentage of you that's there, and there's a bit of a vacancy that's going on because you've put more value on things outside the relationship. And when you check out, there's a lot of negative impact on your woman. So when you check out, we'll stop coming to you. We'll stop believing in you. We'll stop depending on you. Essentially, we feel like we have to become stronger in our own masculine energy, our own independent, get things done, figure it out, make it happen energy. That's what masculine energy is. We all, men and women, every person on this planet has both energies. And when your woman is in this position of having a man who's checked out, she's going to lean more on her own masculine self. So she'll probably be more defended, more guarded, more in her head, more like, let me get things done. I don't need you. More in the control of things and the management of things. So there's a lot more impact than that. There's also the emotional impact where we withdraw affection. We withdraw our love. We withdraw loving on you or touching you or hugging you or wanting to be close. And the longer that the checking out happens, the more likely that we are to completely close off to intimacy. And you may be missing that this is happening because what women do is that oftentimes women go through the motions, like I spoke to earlier, out of a sense of obligation or because they're made to feel like they should have sex. So even though sex might be happening in your relationship, don't mistake that the intimacy is missing, right? And that there's an impact in terms of the connection. And that there's actually a disconnection during sex. So when you're in the habit of checking out, we start to resent you ultimately, right? That's probably not a surprise because it's like, where are you? Where'd you go? Where's the guy I could depend on and lean on? And here I am on my own trying to like keep the household together, and women that work are trying to handle that, handle the kids, handle all the aspects that are necessary to keep the wheels running on the bus. And when that happens, you're going to start to see aspects of your woman that are probably less desirable, where she'll be more demanding, bitchy, critical, undermining, impatient, exasperated with you, frustrated with you. So check in, are you experiencing any of that from your woman? And that's like a red flag, guys. That's like, pay closer attention. That means that you're not fully dialed in. And what you need to know that's really going on with your woman at the core of this, of all these things you're seeing, where she stopped coming to you, she stopped leaning on you, she stopped asking you for advice, she stopped depending on you, right? She's being stronger and more of the leader and more in her control. What's going on underneath that is that her heart is shattered, because it's like the beauty of relationship, the beauty of the union, whether it's a partnership or a marriage, like it's crumbled. So it's, her heart is shattered into a million pieces. And what happens is that the hurt, it gets to be too much for a woman, where if there's years of checking out, years of pumping your energy elsewhere, years of prioritizing things other than her and the relationship, it's too much for a woman to handle. So she'll essentially numb herself out by being busy and by doing and going into her masculine, get things done, handle it, feel less, do more. And that's painful for her, because it's not her true nature to just be in that space all the time. So she'll end up feeling depleted and exhausted and have even less energy for you. So guys, what we want, the antidote to this, is presence. Presence, guys. That's what we want. We want to feel you. We want to feel that you're fully with us, that you're fully online, body, mind, and spirit, that you're fully available, that you're with us when you're in the room, right? You're not like on your phone or thinking about what you have to do next, or, focused or distracted by work. Like, you're here. And of course, you're not going to be perfect at it. We don't expect that. But there's a difference when there's presence or none at all. And we need some, hopefully more than some, but that is like the salve to our heart and to our soul. Presence is what makes us trust you. And presence is what builds things that need repair, right? It's what repairs bridges that have been burned. It's what repairs betrayals. It's what heals old wounds and letdowns that have happened in the relationship between the two of you. Presence is really a powerful energy that you can bring to your woman. So we're going to talk more about how to learn about presence at the end of this. But I want to move on to number 2. The second problem that I see that's happening that creates, this loss, this erosion of trust, is that you leak your energy. Okay? You leak your energy. And this is you, I kind of alluded to it in the first point. This is you spending your energy and putting your focus of getting your needs met outside the relationship. So you can do this through flirting with women you work with, women at the store, women at the gym. You can do this through paying a lot of attention to porn and getting off sexually from that. Leaking your energy happens when you're coveting other women, when you're thinking about someone else and masturbating to her, or whether it's a porn figure or someone at the job or someone that from the neighborhood. Leaking your energy is essentially when you're getting a need met in an unhealthy way that's out of integrity. Because a commitment is sacred. A union is something that deserves reverence. And it deserves you being fully there, right? And not leaking your energy. And the problem with it is that even though you may feel like, oh, well, sure, I flirt with someone at work, or yeah, I've got like a fun, banter with this one woman who's my client. If you know the difference, guys, like where there's a healthy boundary and an unhealthy boundary, you know that. You do know that. And we feel it even if we don't see it. So it's essentially the energy of not being all in on us. And when we can feel that you're not all in on us, that your energy is elsewhere, we're going to close off. we're going to lose that trust in you. Our walls are going to go up where we want to share less and less of ourselves. So it's going to be the same impacts that I shared from the first mistake that I see happening, right? Where we stop coming to you and believing in you and depending on you and leaning on you and sharing ourselves with you and being affectionate. And that's painful, right? Because then you're not getting that healthy relationship that you deserve. And what we want from you is containment. We want containment. And what that means is that you're all in on us, that your energy is only with us, that you only have eyes for us. So we'll talk about how to get in the energy of containment at the end of this. So let's bookmark that one as well. We bookmarked presence. We're bookmarking containment. These are the solutions to these problems. And the third big problem that I see happening with men is called missing the mark. Okay, missing the mark. And this is widespread. And this is when, your woman, what's really important to understand about the feminine heart, the heart of the woman, is that we want to feel felt. We want to feel seen. We want to feel understood. It's like a deeper thing. It's a deeper felt, a deeper feeling. And when you're missing the mark, it means that you're either oblivious to an emotional sign or signal that's letting you know that, like, we need more, or we need presence, or we need love, or we need care, or we need you to, like, notice something. When you're missing the mark, it could be that you're being dismissive of your woman's emotions, where you're not valuing them or you're ridiculing them. It could be that you're missing the mark by being condescending to her, or thinking that she should toughen up or figure it out or get it together, or she's too dramatic, or, oh, she's just overwhelmed, or, oh, she's just busy, or, oh, she's just, creating problems for herself. Whatever the story is that you tell yourself in your mind. But when you're missing the mark, you're missing what the moment requires. All right. And there's always an opportunity to meet the moment through presence, through containment, with your love and with your care, where we feel seen and we feel felt and we feel heard and we feel understood. And to us, that is magic. That makes us trust you forever. That is everything to a woman. Because we want to know that you get us and that you feel us and that you care enough to track us at a deeper level and to not just have superficial level of connection or communication. We want you to show up for us. We want you to be tuned into our hurts, our struggles, our insecurities, our fears, our excitements, what we're hesitant about, what matters to us. We want you tuned in. We don't want you missing the mark. When you miss the mark, sometimes, like, you make it about you, or you just miss the deeper meaning or the deeper hunger or the deeper craving of your woman's heart. And what we want is for you to take care of our heart. We want to know that you're committed to protecting our heart. So the antidote to this is to, stop missing the mark. But seriously, it's to care for your woman in a way where you track her heart, you take care of her heart, and you protect her heart. And to be able to do that, it requires you to drop into your body and to get out of your head and into your heart and to be able to feel more. All right. So it's going to require you growing your aptitude to feel. And a lot of guys miss the mark because they just don't see it. They didn't even know that the target was up, because you're keeping yourself in a loop in your mind of your busyness and your to-dos and your distractions and wherever you've leaked your energy. And maybe you've just checked out, because you're not feeling great about yourself. You don't feel successful in the relationship. You don't feel great about your career, or your career is really great. So you hide in that. But when you're not plugged in, when you're not in your heart, when you're not in your body and online, then you're going to miss the mark because you're not going to sense her. You're not going to feel what's going on. And this is something that happens on an extremely subtle level. But know that it makes a huge impact in terms of her ability to trust you. So I'm going to invite you guys to pay closer attention. So, David, I've talked about these three big problems that I've noticed in working with men over the years that erodes trust. Because if you're ever going to win trust back, first you have to understand how you're losing it. And I've spoken about these three antidotes. The first one is presence. The second is containment. And the third is getting dialed in, right? Coming into your heart.
Not missing the mark.
Yes, exactly. So this happens to be my husband's specialty and mine. We're put together for a reason. This happens to be what Man on Fire was founded on, helping men learn these strategies and learn how to step into this energy. Tell us a little bit more, David, of how guys can learn this, because it's easier said than done.
Yeah. Well, first, let me acknowledge you for sharing your gifts and your wisdom in your feminine grace. And one thing that I adore and love about you, Kathleen, is that whenever you help a man see a blind spot, you do it in such a way where there's so much reverence and it comes from such a softness and such a deep care. And I just really want you to know that I honor you for doing that. And that's why you're able to inspire so many men, because they don't feel judged by you. They don't feel called out by you, but they feel called forward. So just know that we see you. I love you. I honor you. And this is exactly the problem, guys, is that we have never really been taught how to be present. We have never really been taught how to contain our energy. We have never really been taught the deeper needs of the feminine and how to not miss the mark. In fact, at one of our programs all but 2 weeks ago, one of the men that were at our event, he said, actually a few men said, I was there when my wife had our first child, but I wasn't really there. Meaning I was in my head and I couldn't feel. There was no empathy. There was no compassion. I didn't know how to be present. I just kept thinking I got to get back to work. And I know a lot of you guys listening right now can most likely relate to that. And something that I've dedicated my life to, because I was a little boy that had to shut down all of my feelings and go up to my head, because I grew up in a very tumultuous environment with my parents. And my journey of healing and my journey of transformation and growth to get to the point of being a masculine leader for the Man on Fire community was to learn how to feel again, was to learn how to drop from my head back into my body, back into my heart, and regain my presence. And with that comes a level of masculine maturity that takes time to cultivate and time to grow. It's not a magical pill, potion, or lotion. It's not going to be handed to you where you just are gently tapped on the head and now all of a sudden you're a man with presence and containment. This is why we're so passionate about doing our events, guys. This is why we're having Man on Fire Live, Seize Your Destiny. Your destiny is you living into the version of you that you signed on to be. Your destiny is you going from the acorn to the oak tree. Your destiny is the most aligned version, that most authentic, congruent, coherent version that you know you were born to be. And you must have the hunger to want to grow yourself. And if you have that hunger to grow yourself as a man, and you want to be around myself and other masculine leaders, including my team, that will model for you, right? And challenge you and support you and push you and hold you accountable, hold you to the fire of your true potential, then I recommend you get registered. There'll be a link below to get registered for Seize Your Destiny, our Man on Fire live event, meaning it's in person. We will have over 200 men in the room. We've heard that iron sharpens iron, and this will be an opportunity with empathy and compassion and heartfelt love that men have for one another. We cultivated a safe space for you guys to be vulnerable and learn how to drop in, get present, learn how to contain your energy, where you're really the person that wants to protect your wife's heart rather than be another person that contributes to hurting her heart. And this inside of 3 days is absolutely possible for you to walk away with strategies, but more importantly, walk away with an encoding embodiment, meaning drop the information from your head into your body. You're listening to us now, you read books, you watch other videos. That's not enough. You have to move from understanding it intellectually to understanding it in your physiology. The expression that we say is you don't know it until your life shows it. So our passion as a brotherhood is teaching you guys how to take all of this stuff that you're learning, drop it into your body so that there's authenticity behind your words, so that the people in your life, starting with your wife, your children, they can feel you. They're not just hearing you, right? They can feel what's behind your words. They can feel the congruence, the energy behind that. And you will spend 3 days with myself, my team, and 200 other men, where the main motive is to push each other past our comfort zone all the way into witnessing and feeling and experiencing and seeing one another for our true potential. And the greatest way to do this is an environment with other men. It's too easy to get into the stands and hide there. It's time to get down on the field, get down on the court. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's get in the dirt. Let's get dirty. Let's do this. Let's show up for ourselves. Let's build each other up rather than tear each other down. And let's show up for the feminine in this world, because they need us to stand in our mature masculine leadership so we can really understand what it means to be the guardian, the gatekeeper, and the protector of the feminine heart.
Woo woo! And you know who will be there?
That's right. My incredible, gorgeous wife will be there, and she will be one of the main speakers that will also be fostering and sponsoring and supporting you guys to rise and to step up and to learn how to go home and navigate these conversations, learn how to really start reestablishing the trust. So if you want that and you know that you need that and you know it's a must and you're ready to put your sword in the ground, click that link below. Get registered for Seize Your Destiny, the Man on Fire live event, which is July 22nd through the 24th in Irvine, California. So, my queen, I know you got more that you're going to be sharing with us, but I'm going to offer you the opportunity to just take a little break, because I'm feeling like you might need that. And I'm going to just keep talking to these guys a little bit. All right, guys, I know a lot of you have put some questions in there, and my focus was really on my wife and holding presence and holding space for her. So this is not really the forum or the platform for me to address your questions in this moment. We will get to them at some point. We do value all the questions that you submit. This is more about you guys having the opportunity to really check in with yourself. A lot of you have been following me for a long time. Maybe this is the first time that you're getting an opportunity to meet my wife. She's, again, somebody that I respect more than anybody in this world, because she really walks it. She really lives what she talks about, and she lives in her heart. And that's a courageous thing to do on the feminine side. So if you know you have a soul calling, it's a must. And this is non-negotiable, which was a video that I made for you guys this morning. Stop negotiating with the pirates inside of your head that are trying to ruin your life and take you into the abyss of the unknown, where you end up on Skull Island, where you don't know who you are anymore. You're looking in the mirror. You're like, where the hell am I? Who's this guy? Who's this fraud? Who's this fake? Who's this phony? I will always, as well as my team and the brothers in our community, we will always take a stand for you and see you for who you truly are. I will never get pulled into, yeah, but you don't understand, David. I did this, and I have shame, and I have guilt, and none of that defines who you are as a man. I will teach you, I will show you how to start cleaning this up, how to start walking the path into the masculine leader that you know deep down you were born to be. And some of you listening right now, maybe you are crushing it in certain areas of your life, and good for you. Some guys know how to crush it in business. They're millionaires, even billionaires, but you don't have the same success in your marriage, and that's a pain point for you. In fact, we've even had a client that considered taking his life, and he's got planes, he's got, you name it, cars, all the houses you could possibly want, but the one thing that he didn't have was the affection, the love, the admiration of his wife. And when he came and joined Man on Fire, he learned how to drop in. He learned how to get present. He learned how to contain his energy. He learned how to take responsibility where he could be felt through his words. And he learned how to not miss the mark. And these are things that we will be covering at Man on Fire Live, Seize Your Destiny.